Okay, we're recording. We're good, bro.
So this is the office area here that we're at. Used to be a lot bigger. So this is kind of, seller doesn't know the camera's on right now, obviously. Um, just want to give you guys a kind of like the behind the scenes of when we go walk deals and meet with the seller, how it turns out, that kind of thing. You're gonna see this is a practice. I'll tell you a little bit more about this particular deal after I leave, but this should be about, I don't know, quick 30, 45-minute meeting here. And after that, I will be able to catch you guys up. So this is going to be kind of crazy, different angles.
A lot of fluid. It's red blood cells like that, okay?
És láttam, hogy mindig szóltam Frednek, vissza. Anyáknak kell a Frednek. Szóval végül adni.
Felben ilyen csak egy héten, mert náluk van.
Igen, de és megint volt a sér magán?
Igen, de csak egy pár. Ez 3 nap.
Láttam a videót.
Én nem nézem.
Szia!
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you. You came on time. I came here today to do paperwork.
Oh,
That's
really?
what happened. I haven't had 1 minute for paperwork because people came with so patience.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I didn't know you would be seeing patients today, you know.
So you're NC.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so take a seat. We are here now in this office, and I can show you a little bit around if you want to.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, so let me show you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love for you to sell, right? That's fine.
No, trust me. Would love for you to join our network,
What does that mean?
our physician network. So we buy for-profit hospitals, right? That is our main focus.
Right.
But we understand that there are a number of other branches that are attached to the hospitals, right? I mean, hospitals depend on a lot of third party, right? So what we're doing is, if this is the hospital in the center, we want to buy medical practices, image labs, diagnostic centers, right? Medical testing labs, primary care, internal medicine, family medicine. We want to have those surrounding the hospital, right? So that way we have one hospital, but we have a very strong network.
Well, you can have a strong network. Did you see all the doctors that are here?
Yeah, I was actually walking
200.
around. When I took a look in the front, I was like, wow.
I am sure they would be. Actually,
Parking is horrible. It took me like 10 minutes to park.
that I agree with you.
But see, that's why if we looked at a different office, I would prefer it's something standalone. Because you did mention the parking is not the best. And
It's not the best.
I see why.
But the thing about it is you have all these doctors in the same place. And that's a big advantage.
I know, but
and then when I need to have sent somebody for an X-ray or an MRI or any kind of procedure, they just have to go downstairs.
okay, now you see what you just mentioned. So when you need MRI and stuff done, they go downstairs.
Right.
But our plan and our goal ultimately is to, let's say you're part of our network and you have patients. You don't need to send them downstairs because we would have our own facility.
I know.
Right. So that's one thing that we're working on. Which
Okay,
is
but this is more in the future. This is here now.
Yes, absolutely. But the near future, in about 18 months.
Okay. I'd like to
But
I like to do it before 18 months. But as I said before, I don't want to completely relinquish, but I would like to
so you want to stay and we would like that.
Okay, well, let me show you.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay, let's start from the very beginning, like you got coming. Okay, so you saw the waiting room. Okay. Now here, unfortunately, we have to divide the staff. We have 4 members and they're on one here. Come on over. And your last name, I forgot. Monsian. Okay.
How are you?
Dolores, this is Tisha. And this is Dr. Monsian.
Nice to meet you.
Mr. Monsian.
Yes,
And here is, we have one person here, and this one just left now. And then Dolores is my office manager. She's been with me 20 years, and she knows the office backwards and
Don't mean to
forwards.
disturb you. Nice to meet you.
Backwards and forwards, and she knows more about it than I do.
So does she do the billing?
Yeah, she does everything.
Okay.
Well, Dolores, tell him what you do.
I do everything. I do the billing, I take care of the patient, and the drawings and whatever.
Okay.
She knows the best about the office.
Okay.
And the other person who just left, she does most of helping me with the nursing and helping me with the procedures, helping me with the patients.
Would there be any instance where you have some kind of like weird issue with billing that comes up?
Do we have any billing issues, Dolores?
Someone be denied because of their deductible, or the insurance is out of network.
Do you do follow up with the claims and stuff like that? Okay.
No, I have an insurance company that does it.
Oh,
A
okay.
biller. We have a biller.
Oh, so the billing does not. You don't handle the billing primarily in house. Okay.
No. She sends. She submits.
Okay.
She sends the claims to the insurance, and then the insurance company but if the insurance company doesn't pay, then we have to deal with it. The insurance company just sends it to the different insurances. We have about 30 insurances. 30 insurances. So if we don't get paid, then she has to call and find out why. The insurance company just sends it to the different companies, and those are all the insurances that have not been done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And those on that side is the insurances that she has done, but we're waiting payment. And on this side over here, we had a little bit limited. Remember the other time we came to the other place?
Mm-hmm.
Those are already paid.
Okay.
Those are
Wait, so all these are paid?
Paid.
Okay.
And this over here on this side are the ones that she already sent, but we haven't received payment.
Okay.
And the other one are the ones that we haven't had time to send.
Understood.
That's why we're here today.
But you guys have an electronic record system? Oh, still via paper?
Okay.
Okay.
And Tisha is doing social media.
Oh, okay. How's that coming along? Is it something that you just started doing, or?
I just started doing it for them about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But she has experience in it.
Okay.
Yes, I did that for years now.
Are you guys looking more into advertising, or just more of the awareness of where you guys are and the services that you provide?
More awareness.
Okay.
Because we cannot take any more patients. We are already at the max.
Yeah, I see. What platforms are you guys utilizing right now currently?
Facebook and Instagram mostly.
Great. That's great, especially for this location, right? And what you guys do.
Well, we're very close to Palm Beach, and we're close to West Palm. We're in West Palm Beach, so we even see patients from Boca, from Fort Lauderdale.
This is the page right here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
So I did all of this since I started.
Do you guys actually get feedback from the pages that you guys have? Is that something you're looking to kind of implement in the future with respect to social media, social proof? I would say, because I have a background in marketing. I'm a marketing.
I can tell.
So that's why I'm asking some of these things.
I can tell.
Right.
Well, we have like a little bit of interaction. Like people will say, "Oh, like this," or "I like that." I did for like Nurse Day. They actually said Dolores and Barbara are the best. That type of thing.
Can I suggest that you guys get on TikTok? And this is one thing I would do. Just me putting on my marketing hat.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys do? Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys do fillers and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these things with Instagram, it's great, but TikTok, I think you would get a wider reach if you actually put the
before
to the extent that you can, right? The before and after.
Yeah,
I mean, these young girls are going crazy behind these things, and TikTok is primarily where you really want to be on because the reach.
Most of the people that we have are people that already have come, but we haven't had fresh blood.
No, it doesn't matter who it is. It's just showing the procedure or an after, whether it's lip fillers or anything like that.
A lip filler is very good.
Exactly. That's I've heard about it. I'm single and I hear about that.
Wow.
So,
we
so
can have a little date.
yeah, I would just advise you guys take a look at TikTok for that platform. Okay. What you guys do here, it would
as long as they don't
well.
continue to shut it down, right?
I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't think they will.
Okay, so let me show you what we have. We remember when you came to the other office, we had 6 rooms.
Yeah, I
Now
remember.
we have 3. So the reason I moved to here is very simple, because we were chased from the other office, and we had 2 months to find a place. And at the time, there were just two offices. This one, which was small, and another one, which was huge. So I decided, let's take the little one, and that's why I'm here. But we're very squishy.
I see.
But I told today I spoke to the rental office across the street, And I said, we need bigger space. And I said, at the time when I rented, there was nothing available. Is there something available? And she says, yes, there are a few offices that are bigger and they're available.
Yeah.
But they're bigger rent.
Of course. But I mean, with what I have planned, what I have in mind, I think it would make sense to be in there. Absolutely.
Well, anyway, this is our examining room, which we do everything in here. I mean, people are amazed of what we can do here. We do everything. We do wound care, we do PRT, we do exosomes, we do everything.
Oh, you have the centrifuge machine somewhere else?
I will show
Okay.
you. So this is our EKG machine and our TENS unit, which is for people who have them. We do everything. And this is our first exam.
Okay.
Now this is
Aesthetics.
so this one is the one that so we have a laser, we have a tweezers that tweezes the face and especially the hair and areas in the body. But so there's less pain. If you give them less pain, they come back.
Okay.
And this we do everything. As you can see, we do the faces, the butts, the legs, everything. We do.
Okay.
The hands, the arms, everything.
See, that's what I'm saying. So with things like this, right? When you do something like this, something very minor, and to the extent that you can.
You have to get permission.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like to the extent that you can, but I don't think they would.
No, some of them do. Some
Yeah,
of them
but you
don't.
don't need everyone. You know what I mean? You just need a
So
few.
this is the room that makes the money. I tell you the truth, because procedure is between $2,000-$3,000.
So what happens if you double this one?
Would be nice. But then I need double me.
Exactly.
Then you have to
Right.
double me
Right.
too.
Right.
But that's what sometimes I am so overwhelmed that sometimes patients wait 2 hours to see me. It makes me nervous when I see the waiting room full of people and I cannot serve them.
Right. Yeah, we want to keep quality of care. That's really important.
Okay, so this one you can try.
I'm sorry. So these here, I still remember all of this from last time. You still give the patients these and all that. Okay, great.
I don't give them, I sell them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah. Okay, great.
So that was doing very well because we give them for the hair, we give them for the face, we give them for the body, we give them for everything.
Okay.
So that does very well. As a matter of fact, I have to order more stuff.
Yeah, restock.
Restocking constantly. Every week I have to restock.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good. Good to hear. Bathroom here, real clean, really good. Okay.
We have a maid who comes every whatever you want to go, comes every week.
Okay.
To clean. I like it clean.
All right, great. Of course, has to be with what you're doing.
And this is mine. All of these are mine. That's the basic corner.
Wow. Okay.
And then this is the room that you were asking for. We carved this room for the second examining room. We use it as and also this is the room where Dolores, the one that you saw before, the one who is the office manager, she draws the blood.
Okay.
And these are the centrifuges we use for the CRT, for the exosomes, for everything. And this I carved out of.
Do you use both or just one?
Yes, we have one for region. This is for regular LabCorp, and the other one is for the stem cells.
Okay.
We do stem cells as well.
Is it really popular or is it?
Yes, it is popular, but it depends. There are certain times they're more popular than others. And also, I have to tell you the truth. I don't have the energy or the time to sell them the products. I
don't worry. That's why we're going to step in.
I don't have the energy to tell them what to do because I don't have time. Okay, so this I carved out of this. This was an area that I just had, for the lights and all that. And what I put a little, how would you say, a little curtain. And then this is to take out the garbage and all the cleaning products I put over there and I covered them. And so we have extra space to store and a refrigerator as well where we put our drugs and injectables. This should be closed, but it was open. I am sorry.
No problem.
And this is how the patient, they can sit here and we draw the blood and everything. Okay. And then and here is another little area that I carved. It was open. And I said, let's close it up. And this is where we have the charts.
Okay, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes
So I
sense.
keep it closed, and whenever we need a chart, we can look at it here.
Okay,
But I did the best I could with the little space that I had.
you did well, really well.
Necessity
Of course,
is the
of course.
mother of invention.
Absolutely.
And then this, I don't have a room anymore. Remember last
Yeah, I
time you came?
remember.
I
Yeah,
had a little room.
yeah.
Now I don't have a room, so as you can see, I have a corner for me, and
Hopefully, we
that's
can
it.
get you in a real office. You deserve it.
Well, thank you. Well, I do the best I can, and the products, the sale of the products to does very well because people they come here. We have a little pharmacy. All the medications we have to give it to the patients, so they don't have to go to a pharmacy. The main ones, like this gentleman who had a cold, we gave him antibiotic, we gave him a little prednisone, we gave him something, so he doesn't have to go to the. I say give, we sell. So they don't have to. And our prices are very reasonable, so the same as in the pharmacy.
Mhm.
So they get everything, and they get the skincare products, they get the nutrition products, and they get the drugs too.
That makes sense.
So they have everything.
Yeah, that's kind of like what we're trying to build out.
I-
It just makes sense, to provide multiple.
And not
services.
because to go to the pharmacy to
Mhm.
wait online. Here they have all. These are all pharmaceutical products that we have, and they just get everything. And by the time they come out, they get everything. They get their medication, they get their nutrition, and they get the skincare.
Yeah, it's a lot more convenient. So yeah, it makes sense.
Especially during pandemic, they loved it.
How was it?
Well, it was a we do have everything. We have the tests for the COVID, and we also have the antibodies, and we have the flu testing and all that. We have everything here.
Did you see like performance decrease? Less patients come in during COVID?
On the contrary, we
More?
have more patients
Oh wow.
because the patients, they were at the time they were not giving the tests, so they came to have it tested, and also they wanted to know when they have to get the new vaccine. So we always check their antibodies first to make sure they don't have antibodies. Then we give them the vaccine. Otherwise, they don't. And so no, we're very busy. But I have to say that lately I'm overwhelmed. I don't have a life. I don't know why. I never worked so hard. I'm the oldest I ever was, but I cannot handle it because it's nonstop. You see, our book is just the other thing they found out that I speak Spanish.
Mm.
It's my first language.
Mhm.
So all the patients who don't speak English, the insurance companies send them to us.
That's really good.
And I speak a little Haitian Creole. So I speak French perfectly because I went to a French school. So I speak a little Creole with the Haitians who don't speak English.
Mhm.
So they send me those patients. And on top of that, we have a lot of new people are coming from up north.
So would we lose patient base with you not being here? Would
No.
insurance stop sending
Well,
Spanish and Creole?
no, because you can always get somebody
Not to speak 4 languages like you, though.
Five.
5, correction. I thought I was doing something.
When do you
But-
speak?
Parle français.
Oh, je parle français très bien.
Oui.
Je suis allée au lycée
Non,
français.
pas très bien.
Je suis allée au lycée français. J'ai mes baccalauréats du lycée français. Alors, c'est pour ça que je parle bien le français. Je parle le français et l'espagnol parfaitement.
Parle français. Okay. You speak Spanish better than French?
The same. French and Spanish are my first language, but I'm Hungarian actually.
It's crazy. Okay, so I told John this, but my dad, he didn't teach me Spanish. I'm Dominican,
Yes.
right? So my dad never taught me, but I picked up French and I picked up Japanese.
Japanese I don't. No.
So
No lo hablo.
yeah, so Japanese is it's not that hard though.
No, it isn't.
It's not.
But I speak more the Romance language.
I see.
But Italian I speak as well.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But we have patients who speak Italian, but those who speak Italian also speak English. But the Spanish ones, they've been here 20 years and they don't speak a word of English, which surprises me.
I know.
Because
Right?
when I came to America, I learned English in school, but I wasn't perfect in English. And I went to hardest women's college in America. And you know what? You learn.
Of course.
If you want to learn, you learn. And here they're clueless.
They don't want to.
And French, I speak a lot with the Haitians. The men went to school and they speak French, but the women, they're not allowed to go to school,
Oh, wow.
so they only speak Haitian. So I had to learn Haitian to be able to communicate with them.
Oh, wow.
But it's okay. I don't mind. But I am overwhelmed. I have too many people. Sometimes people have to wait 2 hours to see me, and that makes me nervous. And we are very squished. I have to tell you that we're very squished. Of course, I could reduce the patient population, but I don't know how to do it. So anyway, this is the state of affairs, and I would like to make my life a little easier because I'm not getting younger. I'm just getting older, and I want to take work less.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I don't want to keep you
No,
standing.
sit down here. This is where patients sit when I go and talk to them.
So how much longer can you realistically?
As soon as I get somebody, I'll be happy to, whatever it is. I mean, I would like to, as soon as possible, to just reduce my husband just retired 6 months ago.
Yeah, he sold his.
Yeah, but he didn't sell it very well. But
No,
because he.
I wanted to buy that one too because it
You
was.
did want to, but
I wanted to buy that one too. It's just.
But you didn't.
Yeah, we were dealing with some other deals, some other acquisitions. You know, it took up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Raising the money and all that stuff, way more than we wanted to raise
he's
originally.
Very happy.
Yeah, I heard that when I spoke to him. But that's good though.
Happy.
That's good.
He didn't do very well financially, but they took everything and one page. They signed up, and that was it. And he just walked out of the office. He left everything: the furniture, the charts, everything.
Wait, what? How much they paid him?
I don't remember, but it wasn't very much.
Yeah, because I think when I spoke with him at the time, I think he was doing like $200,000 a year.
Yeah,
is what he was doing at the time,
right.
And I think he threw out that number. He's like, give me $200,000, which was not bad, right?
Because that was sold. It's over.
Yeah.
But he didn't even have to. He didn't even have to get a lawyer. He just got one page, and it was another ophthalmologist.
Oh, okay, that's why.
He took everything,
okay,
whatever was in there, the charts, the furniture, everything. So my husband.
You probably wrote him a personal check, right? Just, hey, here you are.
I don't know what to do. But my husband just had to take a little box, and everything stayed.
That's really good.
And so it was very seamless.
That's really good.
But I don't want to completely relinquish.
No.
I still want to be involved because I want continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I want, as I've been seeing so for so many years, I don't want just to abandon them.
No.
And I have a different type of practice. My husband used to see the patients once a year. I see them on a monthly basis, every 2 months, every 3 months, some might see every week. So I have a relationship with my patients, which he didn't have.
Right.
So it's a totally different situation.
How many patients are you seeing per month, would you say?
I don't know. I see between 70 and 80 a week.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So just a rough estimate.
Rough estimate, yeah.
Okay.
And I don't work on Fridays.
Yeah, which is why I was surprised. I saw someone coming out earlier today.
Yeah, he had a cold.
Okay.
And he's a good friend. He's a very famous musician.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he just came back from Spain, I think.
Oh, okay.
And he was all over Europe, and he came back. He came back today, and he was here. So I had to see him. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Diagnosis code. Hematoma. This. Okay, thank you. So anyway, this is the story. I mean, I would like to stay in.
How long do you want to stay for?
Till I feel comfortable for the person. The next successor is able. Whenever the successor of my practice says that he or she is ready, I leave. But in the meantime, while they want me, I stay. And whenever they say I'm fine, and I see that it's fine, then I leave.
Yeah.
Because I tell you the truth, I don't need the money. And the reason I'm here is because I like what I'm doing. I don't like the paperwork. I tell you that right away. I don't like it. But I like what I do. Otherwise, I could have retired before.
Right. Typically, like what we look for is like a year transitory period. So the first 6 months. Well, prior to us closing, like a month before, what I do is I usually have one of our medical directors. They would shadow. So they would come to the practice,
Mhm.
and while you're doing what you're doing, they would basically shadow you.
They can
You know,
come anytime
and
to shadow.
and what happens is the patients actually get used to that doctor
Right.
because they see them,
I
right?
agree.
So
agree.
before
That's-
we close, a month before, I have my medical director come shadow the physician,
He
and
can
then
come earlier.
right, and once we close, it's just seamless. What I don't want is we close and then the patients just start seeing a new face, like, whoa, who is this?
No.
I want him to get used
I don't
to.
mind if the person who wants to come in can come in anytime, even 6 months before.
Right, but we want to make sure we're at a certain place. You know what I mean? I want to give you an offer, accept it, and then want to make sure we have some kind of exclusivity. We just want to do things right. You know what I mean?
No,
So-
look, I'm not going to open another practice. I'm too old
Oh
for
no
that.
no! That's no. What I mean by exclusivity is that I have intent to bind the practice, and I give you a offer, right? A formal offer. It's not binding, but it's saying, hey, I have interest in your practice, and we're going to conduct due diligence and just look into the financials of the business to make sure it's what it is. And then from there, we're going to come back and say, let's go to closing. But while we're doing our work, what I'm telling you is you can't go solicit or get other offers because, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't make sense if we're spending hundreds of thousands and then you have someone else. And then we come back and you have someone else.
If I don't have a contract, then of course I would still be able
Yeah, of course.
to see us. I have an agent who is interested, and he's been my agent for a long time. But you know what happened?
What happened?
I had 8 people who wanted to buy the practice while I was in the other office.
Mhm.
But you know what happened? My landlord.
Right. He wouldn't.
He sabotaged.
He wouldn't do.
it.
Yeah. He wouldn't go forward.
He would not give them the lease,
Mhm.
and I didn't know why. He made all kind of excuses, and I said, "Why is he making all these excuses? It's the same money he's
Right.
getting from me or from the next person." And then, after a year, we found out that he's selling the whole building. And then, if he would have told me that, I wouldn't have spent money on lawyers and aggravation and going through the accountant to write down what we make and so forth.
Yeah, very similar situation is what I'm saying. Is very similar situation. In this situation, I would be you and you would be the landlord. And what I'm saying is we don't want to spend hundreds of thousands and pay the accountants, the lawyers, and then you're like, well, we don't want to sell to you. We don't want that.
Yeah, it wasn't hundreds of thousands. It was
No. I have a whole team. We have all
we
these
had
people.
8 people.
Mhm.
8 people.
I was one of them.
Yeah, but you never.
I couldn't hear from your guy. I could not hear from him.
Yeah.
Even now, I can't. There's no response, nothing. Which is why I reached out to you personally because I had your contact information.
Which
Did-
guy are you talking about?
Can't remember. I do not recall his
I
name.
only have one person, and it's a woman.
Oh, no.
Summers.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, wrong person.
I never had
Wrong
it.
person.
I
Yeah,
never had
wrong
that.
person. No, I've never spoken to Barbara. No, I haven't spoken to Barbara yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barbara Summers. We made I made last 22. We made $170,000. That's net.
Wait, that was not the revenue?
I don't know what you mean by revenue.
No, what do you bring in?
No, that was my.
What you took. 970,000.
Yeah.
Oh, so you brought in about 2 million.
I do.
No, from those numbers. That's usually how it works. Right. No, but I know your previous numbers.
Yeah.
I know the previous numbers,
I don't know my previous numbers.
I do. It was a lot more significant. I mean, a lot less than that. Your net. You were doing about $1 million.
Yeah.
At the time, 1.1, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's been about 2 years. So, yeah.
And that was the year that I moved. That was the year that we spent a lot of money. And we still made that much.
So your net was 970. That's really good. But yeah, I would say it would be around. Yeah. I'm good with the numbers.
I only work.
So.
And I like what I do.
That's good.
I like what I do, but I don't like the paperwork.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we could definitely, again, like me and you spoke, we have some ideas. Me and my team, I kind of, pitched it to them. So we have some ideas.
I never will abandon this office unless I'm told that I'm not needed. But I tell somebody once, I teach also. I teach other doctors. I don't charge. I teach what I do. I teach about, I have my own way of doing weight loss. I have written 5 books on weight loss. I teach doctors who want to learn. They come to me. They spend the day here, and I teach them. And I would do the same for whoever wants to buy the practice. And then I also will have, not only that, we have insurances. The insurances now are closed. So everybody, whoever buys the practice will get all the insurances because they are under my number. So that's another
Okay.
profit. And then the last thing that I would teach, and that is the skincare. The skincare, I tell you the truth, that's the most lucrative. People will complain about the copay, but when it's their face,
They have all the money for it. That's usually how it goes.
okay, so you spend the money where you want it most. And I have my own way, and I do everything. I do the lips, and I do the face, and I do the breast, and I do the butt, and I do everything. The knees, everything that needs to be lifted, and it's non-surgical.
Oh, that's really good.
And I do it through red, and we do it through threads, fillers, and Botox. It's a pan rejuvenation.
Okay, so you have any idea of how much you're looking for?
Well,
what kind of?
I did not think about it, but I think the same way that we had before, which is $1 million and one.
$1 million.
Yeah, that's what we asked last time. That's what.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's
it was.
What I am right.
Yeah.
I tell that to my husband. No, I tell you what, because the guy who was the poor thing, he didn't know either, and he did all that advertisement and everything.
Whatever. Oh, with the landlord
had
guy.
No idea.
Right.
And he worked so hard to find, but I think he found you, no?
I don't know.
I think he did. So we have to pay him.
What's his name?
His name Wyshinsky. Mr. Wyshinsky. I think it was him who found you. But
really?
Anyway, all these people he advertised, he brought to the office and everything. He had no idea. Neither have I.
That sucks.
But you know what? Karma. He died 3 months after he threw me out.
Oh wow.
3 months after he threw me out, without any kind of payment, or he broke the lease, and but I have to say I wasn't the only one. Everybody in the building was thrown out. But he wasn't very nice about it, and he did not tell us in advance that he was selling it. But you know what's going on now there? 3 28-story condos.
Wow.
3.
That's a lot of construction.
But you know how much each condo will cost?
I mean, no less than what? 800,000. What is 3 million starting? Wow.
Those are the.
Yeah. Of course, the location. Of course.
Well, my office
is very similar to out here.
My office was on the ground floor.
I remember.
But the higher levels, did you see not only the lake but the ocean? So people,
how does the patient feel about like the coming up? They prefer no problem.
Okay. As a matter of fact, they like the valet parking. They say that I have that they don't have to park. I don't like it, but they like it, so who cares?
Okay.
No, I have had no problem.
Okay, great.
And and they always ask, shall I tip them? I said, you don't have to, it's free. But if you want to, give them $1 or $2 for the parking, and they're fine with that. I haven't had any complaints about that.
Okay.
And so anyway, he's the one who brought all these people, and that's when we realized. And now, since there was the pandemic and all that, and so people were a little bit more resistant to buy practice, I think now we have a little bit more action.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in private equity, for sure. In fact, a lot of large private equity companies, firms, they are buying, like there's no tomorrow, medical practices.
I don't know anything because I don't do the marketing or anything like
but
this.
There's definitely.
I have no time.
Yeah, I see that. Hopefully I could help with that. So, okay, going back to the numbers real quick. Your offer would be around 1.1 is what you're looking for.
Yeah. That's what.
Did we speak about that last time?
Yes, Mr. Wyshinsky was, I think.
Really?
He's the one who put down the price 1.1. I didn't. Okay. He's the one who said that's how you should ask, and I said, okay, let's ask that.
That makes sense. Did he discuss with you like the structure of the payment, how
No,
usually the private equity
we
works?
decided that we should be paid at once because I heard a lot of doctors who have sole practices and they had to do it in little increments.
That's not good though.
They,
But it also depends.
and they never got paid.
Yeah.
And once they're out, you cannot. So I want to.
That's kind of weird. That's the second time I've heard that. How are people able to get away with that if they have a contract?
They have a contract, but it's not so binding. And once you're out,
That's impossible. That's
Well,
impossible.
yeah.
No, because when you do that, there's like rules and regulations. Like these things are severe. So
But I have heard that. So that's why
I'm very.
whoever
curious.
buys the practice has to buy it outright. And then, as I said, I will be
Yeah, I'm
on
just
salary.
okay. So what's gonna
Mhm.
happen is you're gonna get that money up front, pay taxes or whatever.
Salary, and that's it. Oops, somebody's calling me too. So anyway, I mean, as I said, it's not the how do you say it? It's not the fire sale.
Mm-hmm.
I can stay here as long as I get an offer. The offer would be, I mean, all the other people who wanted to buy the practice, they were okay with buying the office. Look at all the messages.
I see.
Nobody was bargaining the amount.
No, I won't. I think that's more than reasonable. I can have an offer to you. What's today? Friday?
Yeah.
Middle of next week, I can have an offer to you.
So it's not
exact
expensive.
price.
It's not expensive, but I don't want to do it in increments.
No. See, the way we work, we don't do increments. What we do is we give a large lump sum. Okay, for example, the last time what we did was we gave the person 80% upfront. So if they wanted 10 million, we gave them 8 million. Only reason we said we're going to hold off 2 million because they was giving like outlandish claims. They're like, oh, company's going to grow 35% year over year. I'm like, are you insane? They're like, I said, okay, fine. I said, if you trust it that much, we're going to give you an earnout, right? So it was a 2 year. If it don't perform how he said, he gets 50%. But if it does, then he gets the whole thing.
Now we like to get it all.
No, that's not.
I just bring you. Oops, I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And bring you the book, and you can see.
Yeah.
We are very busy.
How's my audio?
Great.
All right. Try not to speak. I don't know who was in the background speaking, but I can't have no noise because I hear it through my. This is on speaker, so I can't mute my end, or else you won't hear anything.
Yeah, you should keep mine muted. You're good.
It's a little bit. As you can see, we don't even take lunch. We just work.
Oh wow.
We work through this is this week here. And we had one patient, but today we had one more who just you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw 76 patients. We see it.
Oh, for the week. Okay, right.
This we had though. I was away, so I was out, so it was less. But see, this is how much they see.
Ever thought about going electronic? I mean, is there any benefit to it? Do you see? I mean, if you see more patients, would it make more sense for you?
Dolores, come back here for a second, if you don't mind.
I mean, if you're average 70 a week, let's say we double that, right? 150. Would it make sense? I mean, you would have the manpower. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about that.
79.
You don't have to worry about the manpower. We have that. We bring in the power.
No, I'm too old to learn new tricks. What do you think about electronic records?
But you can teach new tricks.
Electronic records. I said I've always been a little bit, how would you say, shy about electronic records. What do you think?
If we double patient base, if you're seeing on average 70, 75 per week, if we double that patient base to 150 per week, would it make sense for us to look at an electronic record?
Do you want to cut him in half?
What are the
It's
pros and
not
cons?
ready for us to see those patients.
The ones that we're seeing is difficult.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, the operation wouldn't be done here. It would be done in a much larger area with a lot more manpower. That's what I'm trying to explain to Dr. Daisy now. We would come in here, we would actually, and I've already talked about this, we want to relocate to somewhere bigger because we have additional doctors that we want to bring in. Our whole thing is to acquire and grow, right? Not to just acquire just to look good. We acquire and grow. And one of the ways that we do that is to add additional services to what you're already offering, right? It's only logical. People will buy from you if you're a trusted source, multiple services, as opposed to going elsewhere, right? And she knows this because of the pharmacy kind of situation you have. They get everything they need here. So that's very convenient. So that's kind of like what we want to do at scale, right? And what I'm saying is we have a lot of manpower and we have the resources to do so. I'm simply asking, would it make sense for us to transition into a more modern, right, if we double the patient base in a different area with more nurses, right, other physicians that's there, and you're seeing a lot more patient base? Because I don't want what I'm saying right now.
I already am struggling with that.
But that's the thing. You're struggling, but you wouldn't be struggling if we were here, which is the overall picture I want to paint here. I'm not coming in here and we're going to double the patient base and it's the same crew. That's financially not smart.
No, I cannot do it.
Exactly. So we're looking for, not only is she going to work less, but we're going to have other people here that are qualified to do the job, right? If we have that, would it make sense to?
What's the advantage of having it electronic versus the paper? What's the advantage? Even if we see more patients, would that help us to see more patients to have it electronic?
Yeah, the spelling be correct.
What?
The spelling will be correct and be neater. But are you gonna put everything in the system?
Who is going to do it?
Yeah, but see, that's not a problem though. As of how it's done, we have people for that.
Right.
Like I don't want to argue the semantics of how it's going to be done. We have the professionals to do that.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I have a lease. What am I going to do with my lease?
Yeah, but all of these things we could discuss in the purchase and sale agreement. All of these little minute things will have to be figured out. We can't. Again, I'm not sure how your husband did his deal, but that's not the way we operate. Every little thing has to be in order, which is why I have a board. I'm just the head of the company who runs it, but I have very smart people.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I have very smart people who advise me on these things as to how to maneuver. And we're not doing things haphazardly. I can tell you that. So what I'm saying here is not anything that I'm just throwing things and just hope it sticks on the wall.
No.
These are things we have experience in doing, which is why I'm even here having this conversation right now. And again, I'm a marketer. I'm a visionary, right? I grow businesses. So I can see these things the second I step in and I know how operations are ran. I can see these things. So I know what we're capable of. What I'm asking is the experience that I don't have, which you guys have, right? What is more feasible in reality? Now, on paper, it sounds good. A lot of things sounds good. But in like practicality, how does it work? That's what I want to know, right?
I know. She knows better.
Mm-hmm. All the practices that we look at, they all transition into electronic records, and it's a lot easier for them.
That's a lot of prerequisite before to assemble.
Yeah, but that's anything you do. If you build a house, for us to lay the foundation, if you're building a house, it takes you 80 days to build that house. We're going to lay the foundation. It's going to take us 40 days. So anything you do is preparation. But the second it's done, it's streamlined, just like that.
Now you'll take over the insurances. That's the main thing for us.
Yes, because this would be a stock sale. This would not be an asset sale. I'm saying this because from our last acquisition, we dealt with a wound care, and they had a lot of contracts. It was a nightmare because we had to get credentialed from Medicare and all of these things. If we did a stock purchase, everything would acquire everything.
You got our number for all those things.
NPI number, and yeah, we have our own NPI number as well. So yeah, I'm familiar with that process, right? But I just, again, from you, exactly.
But the thing about it is, it will take a little time to adjust.
Yeah, but the time it takes, and then in the long run, the convenience that you have, I think the benefit outweighs the time that it takes to set up.
Well, we'll have to think about that. Why don't think Dolores?
Well, that's good.
Dolores knows more about the office.
Yeah, and she said electronic. I mean, again, it would probably even take a load off of her, right?
And now for Barbara also.
Exactly. So that makes sense. That's smart. Operational wise, I think that's really, really smart.
Okay, I'm outvoted.
No, of course you can't be outvoted right now. Thank you for that.
She's good. She knows. She knows. No, she's in the bathroom. I tell you the truth. She's been half of the time that I've been in practice. I've been in practice 42. She's been here 20. So she knows the ins and outs. She knows more than I do.
Right.
Because I don't have time to go through all that. All the paperwork she takes care of.
Exactly. And not only that, instead of having somewhere physical for them to live, it would be invisible on a computer. So that way you're taking away, unnecessary space, things that you don't have to deal with.
Do you think it would be, but what am I going to do with the lease? Because,
That's not an issue.
When I came here, they gave me a 3-year lease, but my lawyer said that you could sell it better if you have 5-year lease, because they said after 3 years they'll increase it.
Yeah, it's escalation.
So she said to me, get the maximum, which is 5 years. So I don't know whether that's good or bad. But now I'm stuck. I'm only here 7 months. It will be in August. August will be it will be a year.
Okay.
So I still have 4 years.
I don't mind breaking the lease.
You do?
I do not.
Really? You can do that? But then you have to pay.
We don't mind.
Really?
Yes.
And
These are our numbers at the end of the day. What we do is we sit here and we say, based on what we can do, proven track record of what we've done, where can we take this? And where we see we can take it, does it make sense for us to spend this little bit of money here, right? To break a lease, basically pros and cons, right?
But what if we buy a bigger office in this building?
That's what I want to do. I want to get a bigger office in this building, maybe 3,000 square feet. But also, this is what I said to you. I said, what if we got a bigger office, but we kept this one for the time being? We get everything ready, but this would be kind of like a satellite,
Very good.
right?
Yeah.
We keep this until the lease is done. 2 years is nothing for the lease. We keep that so that way you're not crowded in here. But the other location, the other office, we start to add the services, the additional services.
Yeah, we would like to do more things, more procedures that I don't have time to do, because we don't use the laser, we don't use it. We have 2 machines, 3 machines that we don't even have time to use.
Exactly. But that would actually solve that,
But let me think about it. I talked to the leasing person, and she says, I asked her, if we go to a bigger office, will they transfer the lease?
Could they do that?
And she said yes.
That's problem solved.
But then I would have to vacate this one and go to the next one.
Yeah, but that's something I would want to handle. I would want my team to handle that.
But you know what we could do? I have an idea.
What is it?
We could work in this office till the other office is ready for us.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how about we just get it ready? We don't just move out because that's not smart. Let's just get it ready, right? And even to the extent I can add another position in there easily.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And the thing about it is this: as long as we all can work harmoniously, I don't see why not. Right.
That's what I'm saying. And maybe it would get to the point where you're mostly checking up and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because we're to the point, hey, we have another physician that's been with you. You've been working with them for 6 months. You're comfortable. Yeah. Okay, now you're going back to that office, checking to see how things are. I would love for it to get to that state. That way, now you're just
a supervisor.
Exactly.
But I still like to see that. You know what I like to do the most?
What is it?
Skin.
Really? Do you see more patients for it?
I don't see enough. I would like to see more, because what I do, I was just telling, I see the patient. You see, this is how my office works. They come to me, the insurance sent them to me for a cold or the stomach ache. But then I leave some things in the waiting room.
Okay.
And then and I tell them very gently, because you have to be very careful not to go, we could lift a little bit your face, or we could do, the first time they say, well, let me think of. The second time they say, okay, let's do it. And those are the patients that we get, because we don't advertise. But if we would advertise, it would be different. And I get my patient for skincare from the patients who come for me for other purposes.
Make this a $5 billion a year operation in about 18 months.
Okay. I would let you have. So we have 30 insurances. We have Medicare. We have all the important.
Private pay or no? You take private pay?
What does it mean private?
Cash. I'm sorry,
Oh
cash.
yes,
Cash.
of course we do. And I pay a lot of patients pay. Like he paid me cash.
Okay.
The guy who you just saw.
Mhm.
Of course, we take anything. We even people wanted gave me a virus. The one that we have at the front that takes away the viruses. I said, okay, I'll do some of the face work for you. No, I take anything. And you know, I am very, very nice. I never sent a bill in my life.
Okay.
And you know what? It's to the patient's advantage because if they don't pay the bill, they don't come back.
Mhm.
And why should I worry about and haggle about money? You know, that's the way I have. But I never had people who owe me much money. I think maybe I have 5 people in 42 years that owe us money.
Oh.
Because they value our services and they are very attached to us, but also they know that I give them very good service because I spend time with them.
Mhm.
I don't just in and out.
Right. You said the office, the agent, the leasing agent,
Yes.
it's in this building.
Yeah, I just got her card. What is it? That's right here. I just got her card because I went there today.
No, I would like for us to speak with her together
Okay.
when it's time, so that way she understands I'm the one I'm not just an outside investor coming in.
I can. By the way, when I entered the office, no, don't take it. That's mine. You can copy it. Or
No, next time.
Because, oops, okay. But what I wanted to say, I did according to my lease. My lawyer made me do that. That if there is anything, like illness or anything bad, we can always break the lease
Okay.
without payment.
Oh, okay, that's
So
good.
if there is major
Mhm.
problems, we can break the
No,
lease.
that's really good. That's good. That's good.
That's in the contract.
That's really smart.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did that,
Really
and
smart.
he made me do 5 years
Okay.
because he said that people would like better
Mhm.
to have 5 years.
Yeah, it's a better lease, commercial lease. Yeah.
Okay, but then I spoke today with this person, Deanna, and she said that if I would go to a bigger office, they would not. They would do nothing.
Would it be higher floor or lower? Do you know?
Well, she says, fortunately, when I came 7 months ago, there were only 2 offices, one and a very large one. And I didn't want to go to the very large one because I had not seen you.
Yeah.
If you would have told me that you were around the corner, I would have gotten the bigger one because it was a bigger a financial responsibility for me. But when I thought that we would move here, we'll have less patients, but I was wrong because we have more patients than we had in the other office. I don't know why. Also, other doctors in the building send us patients.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but we are more busy. You know,
That's
42 years, this is the busiest I've been.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
But the thing about it, we provide very good service. I speak to them. A lot of them are surprised that they say, I never saw a doctor before. I only saw a PA or a nurse. I never saw a doctor. Then I spend time with them. And, you know, they're used to. As you see it from my waiting room, it's like a living room. It's a different feeling. But I'm sure that if we had other services, they will use it too.
Of course.
Because the reason that we have not been using the machines that we have here is because we have no time. And we only have now 3 people working here.
I see.
Besides me.
Yeah, we would definitely bring in a lot more.
But I cannot put more people.
Yeah, no, of course, not here, right? But no, it makes sense. What I want to do is get you a NDA.
What's that?
Non-disclosure. So that way, there's no issues with me sharing information with you or you sharing more information with me.
I am very honest.
Right, but it's just typical business things, non-disclosure. After that, we need to see what the financials are. Okay. So that way,
Barbara Summers.
Yeah, I think I have her contact. I have her number. You sent it to me.
She's the only one.
Yeah, you sent me her contact. I'll call her when I leave here.
Barbara Summers is the best.
Yeah, I'll call her when I leave here.
She's been with me 40 years. She's my accountant for me, my husband, my parents, my in-laws, my kids, my grandchildren. She's been down in she became a friend.
Okay.
She came to all the weddings or to the engagement parties. She is fantastic. If you ever need a good think she doesn't see any more new people, but she is fantastic.
Okay.
And I trust her 100%.
Great. So I'll call her, but let her know as well. So that way it's not just a cold call,
Okay.
right?
Give me your card.
I don't have any more.
Okay.
It's been about a week. I don't
Okay.
have any more. I'm sorry. Next time I'll have
Mansion.
something. Yes, you can't forget that.
Mansion.
How was your trip, by the way?
Very nice.
Okay.
We had a good time.
Did you go to the DR?
We went, we saw 3 shows. We went to a movie. We went to the restaurant. We went to 2 museums.
Nice.
We filmed in the weekend.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Well, yeah. I'll get with Barbara.
Barbara is very
Yeah.
nice.
We need 3 years. So 22, 21, 20 financials.
Okay.
And then once we analyze, I'll send you the offer 1.1.
Yeah.
No problem.
No,
with that.
I like to keep it to 1.1.
Yeah, no, I'll send you an offer, complete offer 1.1.
Okay, and I am very honest.
Yeah, in the closing process, something like this, I like to close around October or before.
Okay, whenever.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, I want to say, that I have other people, but if you come close quick, then
Next week.
I
we'll have an offer.
I will not take them.
Next
Now
week.
the other question, I feel a little bit bad,
Okay.
and I tell you why. Because if you were sent by Mr. Wyszynski,
No.
Sure.
No.
Because I don't want to cheat him.
No.
Okay.
No. This is why I reached out to you through your cell phone. Yeah, no one else is. We don't like dealing with brokers or any intermediary. I like dealing with the seller direct.
I don't want to cheat anybody.
Yeah, no, I came to you for my own because we spoke and I'm like, it's been 2 years. Let me see what's going on, right?
Well, the problem we had is because we moved, and during the move, we're here now 7 months, but it's almost going to be a year till we found this place. We were getting all the licenses and getting all the insurances and getting the occupational license and the fire department and the this and the that. Took us a long time.
Yeah.
But now we are thinking again about the possibility, and my husband would be very happy for me to be.
Yeah.
I always work all my life.
Yeah,
I'm like
it's
you,
time to
to make it easier
Of
for
course.
me. And
of
I
course.
still would be very happy to teach anybody. I'd be happy to teach about. We have some products that I invented
Okay.
that I will give you, well, not you, but whoever is going to do for weight loss.
Mhm.
And we're doing very well with the new anti-diabetic medications.
Okay.
We're doing very well.
Great.
You know, the anti-diabetic medications for weight loss are amazing.
Good.
I mean, the patients are losing weight, and I have my own protocols for that, and the patients are coming from the woodwork.
Mm.
And the other thing is that a lot of these medications, they are running out of because they're so good.
Okay.
And so we get them and we offer them here, and it's another source of income.
Good.
Which is fantastic, which I didn't have 2 years ago when you came. So there is no problem in earning. Earning potential is not the problem. It's just that I don't have any more energy.
Right. Of course. Management operations. That's really what takes the business to the next level.
And I never advertise.
Yeah.
This is all sent either word of mouth or through insurance.
Good.
I never advertised.
And I mean, you don't open Fridays, right?
No.
So if we open Fridays, that would add to it. I think about 20%, a little bit,
Right.
20. Yeah. So.
And we were not supposed to be here, and that we saw 2 patients, even though we didn't come.
Mm-hmm.
One was for weight loss,
Mhm.
and the other one was because he was a cold, and he went all over Europe, and he had a cold, and he came, and so we saw him.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll get with Barbara as soon as I leave here. You're gonna have an offer latest Wednesday next week. Absolute latest.
No, you
How
don't
quick?
have to rush.
No. It's not about rushing. This is the approach I take in life right now. So I have a 7-year investment horizon. After that, I plan on getting into something a little more complex. Medical devices, class 2, class 3 medical devices.
I'd like to get a laser.
I actually invented something called MedBox, which is why we're buying hospitals. So I think I mentioned it, but we're buying hospitals to actually take away wait time. The future is here. You know what I mean? There's so much technology that's out there. It just hasn't hit the market yet. And my vision is to just take away wait time in hospitals. I believe the way that hospitals operate are extremely inefficient. Because why are you seeing? Okay, there's only a few things you go to the hospital they will see you immediately for, right? About 5, 6 things. That's gunshot wound, car accident, right? Blunt force trauma, stabbing. If you're a mother who's pregnant or you have an infant, those things. If you walk into the hospital, they will see you immediately. There's no wait. Now, why are we seeing people who come in and there's something minor? Of course, sometimes, you find out it's something that's a little bit more severe, but majority of the people that go to the hospital, about 90% of them, they sit there, they wait.
Yeah, 4 hours. I heard.
Exactly. So now, what sense does that make for you to see people who are extreme trauma patients that you need to see right now? Why are they in the same system as people who are waiting 4 hours to be seen, who have something that is minute that they can wait 4 hours? It's not life-threatening. That is inefficient. So I did some research, and I'm like, oh, so it's about 90% of the people who don't need to be seen immediately are the ones who are clogging the system. So I invented something called MedBox AI. So imagine something that's about the size of these 2 bookshelves, right? But the length of about, maybe it stops here. There's a company in Tennessee, they do imaging, but it's different. There's very little radiation. It's not your traditional MRI. It's radar. Kind of like what airplanes and ships use.
Right.
They're able to see through the human body using radar. Very little radiation, if any. That being said, that is a technology that I'm implementing in my MedBox. So you go to the hospital.
Then this.
So you go to the hospital right now, you sit, you wait, right? But what happens if you go to the hospital and there are 8 kiosks about the size of that? I simply walk in. There's a
Or it's
screen.
like an airplane when you go through the.
Yes, very similar, but it's just about this big here.
Like when you go through through security.
Yes, very similar, just a little bit bigger. Now imagine that. Obviously, people can't see you from the outside, but there's a screen. So I come in there, automatically there's a doctor. That's telehealth. This is why we're building a network of doctors to have. But you're speaking to a doctor. If my head is hurting or my arm, something, my stomach, you know this. What happens when a doctor needs to do a diagnosis? They need to do imaging. You're not going to get a diagnosis if you don't do imaging, depending on what it is, right? And 90% of the time, you're going to get imaging. So the doctor said, okay, step back. He's going to do imaging. And we have the technology.
And the doctor will be there?
No, he is probably in California, Seattle. He's probably in New York. So this is telehealth.
You're transferring the information.
Right. This is telehealth. So he sees you live. He's talking to you, but this is the thing.
He sees more deeply than I see from my telehealth.
If that's the case, right? Now, okay, imaging done. He doesn't see anything because we're able to read the charts. We have radiologists that are going to be able to read the charts. Okay, there's nothing minor, nothing broken, nothing. Oh, okay. Then they ask you questions. I'm not a doctor. You are, but you ask, the right questions to figure out, okay, what could be wrong with that person? And you determine, oh, wait, what have you been doing? You've been sleeping how many hours for the past month? 4 hours. What's your diet? I'm like, okay, all right, this is what's happening. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, this and that. Oh, okay. So it's something not severe. It's minor. Doctor prescribed, hey, here's this and that, or whatever the case is. They're gone. So what about the people who needs to be seen immediately? Like blunt force trauma and things like that. I'm removing them out of the equation. So I see a doctor that is telehealth integrated. They see me right now. They speak to me, and they can write prescription.
Wow, that is a good thing.
This is what's going to happen.
It reminds me of the airport security.
But this is what's going to happen. You have this MedBox can see 8 people per hour because it's going to take about 15 minutes for you to remember. These are people that's not immediate. You know what I mean? No life threatening. So if you're able to see 8 people per hour, this thing doesn't eat, sleep, none of that. It doesn't take breaks. It can see 8 people per hour on a 24-hour basis. What happens if you put 2 inside of that hospital?
16.
What happens if you put 8? So with 8, you will have enough.
8 times 4, 32.
So we're able to see that many people per hour, which we know hospitals don't see that many people per hour.
No, and they're very inefficient.
So that's just one. So now what's going to happen is the doctors that see the patients, there's too many patients per doctor in the hospital, right? So now we're decreasing if it was 4 patients per 1 doctor, now we're dropping it to 2 patients per doctor. What's happening? The quality of care is going to increase in the hospital while we're reducing wait time.
You're right.
That's just some of it, but that's what we
But
ultimately plan
that's
on
a
doing.
very good idea.
That's where we want to take it.
I think
Ultimately.
it's a very good idea. And sometimes I go to the hospital and I see the hospitalists and they're making one error. I scream at them. I mean, I had a patient I sent for chest, it was chest pain. And I said, well, the hospital will be able to do a troponin test right away. And you know what the hospital is? Send the patient home and gave him Tylenol. I went down and I said, if the patient needed Tylenol, don't you think I would have given it to him?
Right. But there are
And they're
patients.
quick and they don't check the patient. They didn't even do. We do the electrocardiogram, but they didn't even check the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
the hospital is like that.
that's one of the things that we're working on.
Well, you're doing a good job. I give you a lot of oh my goodness. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the book.
So hey, look, I'm going to let you get back to what you're doing. I'm gonna contact Barbara.
Okay.
And
And you have her number.
yes, I have her number. I'm gonna get the. How quick do you think she could get the financials over?
If you need it, my husband has it too.
Really?
The last year, yeah.
Well, we need 2020.
We
So
have them all. We have to figure them out of where they are.
okay, so I'll contact Barbara.
Okay. If you don't get through her, call her right away because it's Friday.
Okay, I will. If I don't get to her, I'll let you know.
No, then
But-
you can call her.
But that's all we need, and I'll follow up with you here.
Perfect.
Appreciate the time.
Thank
Nice to
you
meet you
so
guys.
much.
Nice meeting you.
No problem. Definitely looking forward to coming back. No problem. Okay. Hey, Valentino, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I had to go get some water.